Hola. I'm turning on Do Not Disturb on my phone. How is everyone? Tampa B Man, hi. B Willow, hi. How are you today? How's everyone doing? Today's hump day. Hump day. Okay, getting settled. Charge my phone. Tonight, I want to talk about the masks we wear, not just one. This topic is really important to me. It's something that I feel very strongly about. I'm sure you guys, if you watched me before, you may know that. I've been known to sometimes people say I'm a little too open. I would agree with that a little bit, depending on what it is. Many people might not understand that I do it for a reason. There's many reasons that I will come out and state various things that I've done, maybe mistakes, where I'm at, what has happened, et cetera, right? And I think it's a topic that includes a lot more than I even realized when I started thinking about this earlier. And I'm excited to talk about it. I want to see what you guys have to say about this. If you feel similar, if this is something you struggle with, all that good stuff. So I would love it if you join in the chat and just whatever you think of, just throw it in there. I really, really am curious. So, okay. So what is a mask? We all know what that is, right? It's what we show the world. And I think it may not be that difficult to show the world what we want to show it at times. I know some people are very good at doing this. I don't know if good would be the right word because it's not really good or bad, but I mean, they're able to do it pretty easily, seemingly easily, right? I don't know how they feel inside, but it looks like that, right? And I got sober, you guys know, when I was younger, and one of the first things I learned that I didn't quite understand yet, the full extent of it, of course, and that's been something that I've developed over the years. It's been a long process, and it continues to this day. And it has been especially helpful to me this past year, even though I did make a lot of mistakes. The advantage of being open and honest for me, especially right now, is to take shame out of where I am, what's going on with me, because there are a lot of things I'm not proud of. And, being open about it, it's like declaring this is what happened, and it's like radical acceptance, right? Radical acceptance isn't just acceptance. Radical acceptance is there's a book by Tara Branch, I believe that's her last name, Branch, and it's a pretty popular book in self-help circles and spiritual circles, and it's a huge concept in recovery and in just actual therapy, any kind of therapy, honestly. It's part of DBT, from what I understand. I'm sure it's in others too, but I know it's a big part of that, or at least a part of it, right? And so it's important. But I also learned along the way that anything I put out into the sunlight is exposing it, and it's taking power out of it, out of the pain, out of the power out of its impact too. So, we all want to hide at least at some point, right? Like, I don't enjoy having to be open. I do it because I feel like I have to in order to recover and heal. I think it's necessary. And I don't ever push anybody to do it. I don't, it's totally a thing that is up to you. For me, I found it to be extremely useful and necessary. I guess like hiding is what I did in my addiction. And so it just kind of feels off to me if I start doing that sober. And I do want to, and I want to hide sometimes, and I have, right? But it doesn't solve anything. It doesn't make anything go away. It doesn't make the pain easier. If I keep it to myself, I'm not reaching out. I'm not asking for help. I'm not connecting with someone that's going to help me feel safe. And I need to talk about certain things with other people. I think that's another reason this is so important to me, to be able to have my YouTube, so that anybody that feels comfortable or wants to drop by and just maybe they need to get something off their chest and they feel safe. I hope you feel safe, and maybe eventually will feel safe if you don't now. And it's my biggest goal, because we all have to admit something to someone, right? Well, I mean, and that's the first step of recovery, right? Everyone says, well, it's admitting you have a problem. That's the first step. Yes, but it's technically admitting that we're powerless over drugs, alcohol. And if you want to get technical, I mean, you could say process addictions. I classify it all together. Some people do, some people don't. But for me, since it's been so long that I've been learning this stuff and experiencing this stuff, I associate all together because I'm able to see like a bigger picture, and that's how I see it in my head. Hey, Kristen. Awesome. I hope you have a good night at work, Kristen. Thank you. Regal Splendor, admitting it to yourself first, then admit it to another person is very hard, but worth it. What is step 4 and 5? Well, step 4 is inventory, right? Step 5, admitted to ourselves and others, right? Hold on. The exact nature of our wrongs, right? Isn't that what it is? Or is that, hold on. I could be totally brain farting right now, and I can't believe that. I just want to get the wording exactly correct. This is what happens when I summarize it too much. Yeah, I was right. Admitted. I don't think I left any words out. Admitted to God. I forgot God. I'm sorry. To God, to oneself, and to another human being, the exact nature of our wrongs. Why would I have to do that? Or why would I be recommended to do that? Why would it say that in one of the steps of addiction recovery? Anybody want to take a gander, a guess? Not a gander, a guess. There's power in that, right? I think there's many reasons for it. I mean, I tend to think about how many religions have some aspect of confession. And I think that's where this originally came from, because these steps were adapted from the Oxford Group's steps. And the Oxford Group was I don't know exactly, it was a Christian program for quitting alcohol. And I was about to say staunch. I don't know if that's rude to say, because I don't know, but I've like been hearing that word so much lately. The Oxford Group had, I forget how many steps, but Bill Wilson, and he wrote the big book with others, the first 100, technically. And the other co-founder, Dr. Bob, a proctologist, they adapted the steps from the Oxford Group and made it into this. And why? Because they thought that there ought to be a program that's not religious, that they should want to include more people. And so they said this is a spiritual program. Many are religious, right? I won't go on a tangent about all that and explain it too far, but there's reasons for everything that they included in the steps, you know, according to them. And I believe it as well. And many do. So many swear by it. But it's just to show you a little idea of, you know, how common it is to do this. You know, because what step 4 is like taking stock. It's basically an inventory, like you would if you were at a job and you're inventorying a store, right? You need to see what you have that's still good, that is good. And you need to account for what's not helpful, what character defects, as they call them in the program, that you may want to get rid of, and you want God to remove these character defects. That's the wording that they use, right? So we have to see what characteristics of ourselves and behaviors of ourselves that we like and are helpful, and ones that are not helpful and that we may not like, or we may like and know we got to let it go because it's not benefiting us, right? And hey, Jojo, how are you? Tampa B Man said accountability. I think so too. I think that's another part of it for sure. I think I'm one of those people that just thinks even getting something out or declaring something, or just getting it out, it's like it's exposing it, it's taking the power out, because anything that I'm keeping like in here, it's like it's kind of growing in power, whether I think I want to realize it or not, right? Like I'm giving it a lot of power because I don't want anybody to know, blah, 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 blah. And I'm making out this in my head that this is this horrible thing. If anybody knew, they would not like me. They would not love me. If anybody knew the real me, that I make mistakes, that I have these thoughts, that I drank and I got arrested, or I did this, or I did that, I'm going to be unlovable. And isn't that a huge fear of ours as humans? Probably. I think so. I think that we all... What? Sorry, wrong time zone. What did you do, Christy? So we tend to hide the fact that we may not have it all together. Do you know anybody that has it all together? Honestly, do you guys know anybody that has it all together? Maybe from the outside, right? Do you believe that everything is perfect in their life? Do you guys go on Instagram? Do you go on social media at all? Yeah, you're on YouTube. We all know that everybody posts their life on social media. Not everybody, right? But a lot of people do. Are they showing their complete life? Are they showing you every mistake? Are they showing everything that's not beautiful and perfect and just there to look a certain way? It's to show this kind of compilation of, you know, my essence, and like, oh, look at me, I have this, I have this, I have that. But behind all that, we know that's not the case, because we know as humans that's not how it works. But that doesn't stop my mind, or probably any others, from maybe thinking this is exactly what it is. Chrissy said social media is a highlight reel. Exactly. It's a highlight reel. Where's the negative? Where's the realness to it? If I'm just showing I'm on a boat, I'm shopping, like, oh my God, like this, that, whatever. It's like, that's great and all, like, cool, you know, but I want to know who you really are. Like, that's what attracts me. I want to know when you fucked up. I want to know when you fell and you got back up and you were like, you know what? I'm going to keep going, or I'm going to dust myself off. I'm going to get up and do this. And, you know, that's character for me. That's the shit I want to see. It's so easy to just like look like you have your shit together. It really is. It really is. Like, we know that. Like, you know, it wouldn't be hard to just make up this lovely kind of alternate universe, right? I mean, even if there is a lot of truth to it, we don't want to see others We don't want others to see us doing less than perfect sometimes. And I get that because I've done that. That's the only reason I'm talking about it is because I've done it. And I think a lot of people have. I don't think I'm the only one. And I don't have the video up anymore, but this just popped in my head that I made a video with black eyes, you guys. Many of you may have seen it. At least my close friends on here did. And they were like, nah, it's probably a bad idea. Probably was. I did it because I wanted to show the reality of addiction, what had happened, and that I wasn't trying to hide it. Because the second I'm trying to hide it, that means I'm probably going to continue it, honestly. If I can open up about it, it benefits me in multiple ways. It can benefit others as well, right? It can. It all depends. It all depends. I mean, hopefully someone can see it and say, "Oh my God, if they did that, I'm embarrassed about so and so, and I've been struggling or keeping it inside, and like this person is just like whatever." And a lot of people said, "God, Lindsay should get off the internet." I know, right? Lindsay should get off the internet. She should stop embarrassing herself. True. But you know what? That was what was happening. I can't just hide what was really happening. If I'm going to come on here and I was going to talk addiction and then I relapsed and I would keep trying to get sober again so that I would have weeks to where I would be sober and then I would mess up again, and I kept trying, but I didn't give up. And so that shows it. That shows the reality. Like, this is what happened. You saw this, you saw this, you saw that. And it looks like a big mess. And it's like, God damn, Lindsay's a mess. But the thing is, I know, because I've been through this before, what is needed for me to put down the drugs and alcohol, for me to stop using people, stop using love, stop using sex, stop using food, stop using this, stop using that, to recover. Right? And that doesn't mean I'm not going to struggle with it. But you know what? I'm going to talk about it. You know, every time that I would have any kind of thoughts about self-sabotage, maybe I do this now. I will continue to do this now. And I tell everyone this is what I do, right? Because I think it's helpful. So I call it telling on myself. I don't mean in like a way of like I'm in trouble. I mean in a way of like it takes the power of it. So when I start keeping something a secret, I'm like, it's like a reservation. If I'm having thoughts about like, you know what? One for me in the past was I'm going to get my pills again. I'm going to get a refill. I'm going to go get a new prescription. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And you know what I have to do? I have to go tell someone, trusted person or two, someone in recovery, like or not just in recovery, or someone that's stable, right? Someone the foundation. So I have a couple friends in here that I'll do that with. I have a lot of recovery friends that I've had for years and years and years that I'll do that with. I would do it about food, certain food, because I do have eating disorders. I don't talk about it that much. I don't know. I don't struggle with it really as much anymore. So it does not pop in my head as often. So that's why I don't mention it. But yeah, I got that too. You know, I got a lot of stuff going on, right? But that doesn't make me less than. I think that I'm making myself try to fit into a box or be small if I'm not talking about what's going on, what I'm struggling with, what hurts, right? Honestly, I cared so much about my appearance, and it would hurt me more because I cared so much about my appearance to where I'm keeping everything in. I'm suffering in silence. I don't want to ask for help. I don't want to open up to anybody like, hey, I'm struggling, dude. Like, what in the world do I do? And now, because I made myself do it over the years, it comes naturally because I just know this is what I have to do for me. I don't know about a lot of other people. People have told me that this is what they do too. but I don't know if everybody does, you know? So this is just me and what I have found kind of common. And I've learned it from years of being in the program and out of the program and coming back to the program and eating shit, you know? Having to come back into meetings and be like, I did this when I told you guys before that I just wanted to come back in the meetings and act like I still had years sober. And this was like 10 years ago. And I wanted to be like, I didn't skip a beat. I'm still here. I still have this, you know, all knowing whatever about me. And it's not real. What advantage is that? It's not helping anybody else. That's for sure. You know, and I can just hide. And I deserve more than that. You know, I deserve to be able to take up space and to be able to ask for help. Because if I don't ask for help, I can't do it. I don't know many people that can do this on their own or do much alone. What about trauma? What about trauma, you guys? I know that that is applicable to all of this, right? I want you to think about that too. Like all of that, right? Any kind of struggles like that, significant struggles, it is difficult to keep that in. And honestly, when I don't share it, I don't have an objective outlook myself, right? Because it's me. I'm in it. It's me. I'm not able to always, hardly ever, appropriately assess these big things. I can to a certain extent, but I need to like talk to others and get feedback and go back and forth and talk to them about like what their experiences are, what their opinion is, how maybe like what they see. And I do that with people in here. There's a couple women in here that I do that with constantly, like every day, because part of healing is doing that. I have to do that. I don't have it all figured out. I know a lot of shit. We all know a lot of shit, right? That doesn't matter. I gotta, like I said the other day, it's action. And it's hard every time. It's not just easy, like because I've done it before. It's very hard to do it again and say, oh, God, I messed up. But you know what? That shame. I don't want to admit I messed up. Oh, my ego is like, oh my God, dude. You're never gonna relapse again. Well, guess what happened? Guess what happened last year? Life got too shaky for me and I bursted. And you know what? That's it. I'm laying it out right in front of you, in front of me. And I'm not hiding it. I'm not scared of it. It is what it is. If I look weak, that's your perception. I think I'm strong for being vulnerable. I think anybody is so strong when they're able to say, hey, this is the truth. This is what is going on. You know, I'm struggling, or I was struggling, or this. Life happens to all of us. It's not as if I'm the exception. So I'm either going to hide life. And that doesn't mean like be open to everybody. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people you trust, right? And so like I didn't do that with just people I trust. And maybe I made a mistake there. But you know what? Things happen the way that they happen and I can't take it back. And do I want to take it back? No. Because I learned a lot of lessons this year. Like for real. I think that we all learn so much when we're going through these tough times, right? I was kind of at a plateau in my recovery for a while. And I started getting depressed, I think, because of that. And it just added up. And then trauma added up and just made it a nice little ball, right? And then it just was so heavy. And I cracked, you know, and who knows like what could have been, like what coulda, woulda, shoulda, like maybe if I had been super into my program, maybe if I had whatever, it doesn't matter at this point. I can look back on it because I need to do that, right? And any kind of situation where change is necessary, it is necessary, right? To heal, right? Like to not go back to that, right? You okay? To not go back to that, I have to have a personality change. That's what the steps enable. us to do. Watch out, Titters. I want to see the comments. Hold on. Careful. Ooh, good point. Stepford Wives, perfect appearance, no feelings, robotic actions, never question, just do. What do you think about when you see someone like that? Honestly, I don't think like, oh my God. I think, damn, that sucks. Like, I feel bad for them. I don't want to think that, but like, I just know that that's a human, and no human is perfectly fine and robotic and has no feelings. And I used to think that having no feelings meant I'm strong. You okay? Was that sneezy poo? Are you okay, tits? Okay. All right. I love you. You good? Okay. Thanks for coming here. She was asleep, and as soon as I get on here, she already knows. Chrissy said, "What are they hiding?" It makes you wonder, right? I always try to figure out what they're hiding. That's me. I'm just that person. I'm like, what's going on here? Come on, let's get. Your tail is getting all over the place. Ooh, yeah. That's a good assessment. I think you might be onto something there. Hiding pain. Why? What's the advantage? I'm being serious. What would be the advantage of hiding it? When you're hiding pain, what do you think is the advantage of doing that? I'm genuinely asking. Curious if it was the same things I used to think. Some is what they do in the shadows. Yeah. Do we fool anybody into thinking this? Maybe. Not feeling as myself. You don't. Oh, you mean if you're, explain that more if you could. Ruth said, I feel that personally they don't want to deal with it. Okay, so they pretend it is not real, or that is real, that persona, that mask, right? I like real people. There's something about that I'm like, they're strong. They wear their heart on their sleeve. Are they this and they that? And that's not how I always felt, because I was, I don't know, I guess it would be taught. I was taught that showing or even feeling feelings, uncomfortable feelings, is weak. Never show them they affect you. What did I do? I showed that people affected me. Whether it's right or wrong, that shit has been inside me for years of just whatever, la-di-da-di-da, stuff, everything. Everything's great. Sobriety's great, this, that, and the other. And it was great, but I wasn't promptly dealing with things as they came up. And I say this as a warning, not like an ominous warning, like this is a warning, but like just as something to keep in mind for everybody else, because I didn't think that would happen. And so if I can at least share that, maybe someone else can maybe think if that happens to them, they could, they could be in some hot water, and I don't want to continue to make the same mistakes over and over again. So I got to talk about it too. And I've got to share it, and I've got to solidify it. Bruce said the pain isn't real. Yeah. Yeah. And Tampa B Man said, I'd rather be that than myself. Oh, so we're ashamed of ourselves. What makes us ashamed of ourselves? What do you think it is? Mainly, I know it's probably a lot of things. Jojo said, humans have feelings. All of us do. Motive is feeling too, but something called problem solving. Christy, as women, I think we are taught to hide our flaws from a young age. Sit still, look pretty, don't make waves. Yeah. Yeah. And what about men, boys? They're taught, be tough. You don't cry. This, that, and the others. Essentially, I'm saying hide hide who you are, like when you're struggling. Keep it inside. What happens when we repress trauma? What is the word that? Trauma suppression, right? What about that? Oh, there's cat hair in the air. And for the men, don't cry. Yeah. I got taught like I was a man though, right? And I was like very very proud of that. And I was like, you know what? I don't cry like a girl, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Like, I was fooling myself. I believed that. And I was like, whoa, why am I struggling now? I don't know how to deal with feelings. I'm 30 something years old. I'm 20 something years old. It's hello. I've been running and I have an addiction problem that is off and on because I've had years sober, then I've relapsed. And what always causes a relapse? A trigger of some kind, and usually involves some feelings, right? Usually involves some feelings that I'm not processing or I'm not letting myself feel. And in order to heal something, we have to feel it. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That pisses me off. I don't want to feel it to heal. I want to stuff it and just keep going, just like bulldoze my way through that shit, right? Just like when someone passed away and I'm like, it was like, it would be like, I just don't process it. It's just like nothing's there. And that's not healthy, you know? That's not healthy at all. It's not being strong. I think being strong now is being vulnerable. And I never, ever would think that years ago. I would be like, you're kidding me. That's crazy. But how freaking hard is it to be vulnerable and be open and say, this is me. I want someone to like me for me. I would rather you dislike me for me than seriously, if you like me or dislike me, I want it to be because of me. You know, I could act a certain way and get someone to like me. It's not hard. I mean, I've done it all my life, right? It's a survival mechanism. I want people to like me, go along, get along, and like life is easier. But you know what? I stopped doing that when I was in pain. And there's more to it than I want to admit, and I'm learning more and more about that and seeing more and more, and trying to look at myself in the mirror and really see like, what was this telling me? Because I had some anger and some rage and I took it out on everyone around me, and everyone that I knew this person that hurt me, and the situation, and like the continued situation, and it was just like never ending. And you know what? I got nowhere. I just stayed in it. I couldn't move though. And going through it and seeing it now, it's like, thank God this finally happened, because I was wondering how to do that. And now looking back at it, I know that when something, or if something similar happens, or anything really, just like going through pain, I'll probably be able to handle it in a different way than I did, right? Hopefully in a healthier way. Titters is just sitting on my lap. She's so good. Frozen. Yeah, you're right. Christy said both sexes are strong in our own respect and deserve to be loved in our weakest moment. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. We all deserve love, right? We all deserve love no matter what. And someone told me today, someone said this today, and said, we cannot accept love from anyone unless we love ourselves. How true is that? How true is that? I thought that was fantastic. And she always says these amazing things that I'm like, you're right, girl. It's something. Jojo said, yes, I'm a man. I cry, sister. Yes, that's awesome. I used to think empathy is weakness. It's easy to fool someone something than convince they have. Oh, it's easier to fool something into something than convince they have been fooled. You're right. It's difficult to be honest when knowing you may be abandoned. Ding, 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 ding. Oh my God. Like I said, if they knew me, they would abandon me. They're going to leave me if they know I have any flaws. If someone loves us, they're going to love us for our flaws and all. They're going to hopefully try to help us help ourselves and move past that, in my opinion. That's just me. I'm not a relationship expert, but I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. That's what I would want anyways, you know? And I haven't always gotten that. And I think that's ideal though, right? Like honestly, we don't want to be abandoned. We all have some kind of fear of that, right? Someone tells me they don't, I don't know if I believe you. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think that that's kind of like part of the human condition a little bit, right? We want connection. That's like front and center. And if we're abandoned, it doesn't feel good. The feelings of rejection and abandonment are deep, deep wounds. And they can last a lifetime, right? So that's why if you ever hear someone talking about, you know, they have abandonment trauma wounds or something similar to that, I think that's probably quite common, to be honest. And I think that drives a lot of our behavior. When you think, imagine like one of your parents walked out. I don't know. That could deeply affect someone. I'm not saying it's going to deeply affect everyone. I don't know. I don't know everybody. I just know that I've seen it be so detrimental. Did you guys know? This is interesting, but weird. Well, I don't know if it's weird. Divorce affects a child way more than a parent dying. Can you believe that? Just thinking about that. But so it's not like I didn't ever that's kind of wild, right? I would be like, "Oh, of course it's the person dying." But it just goes to show like I don't know what someone's going through and how hard it is or what it is, you know? Like the thing is like everybody wants to look like they've made it and I'm doing so well and I've been through all this therapy and I'm just like so aware and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. If you are, that's cool, but if we're struggling, I feel like it's not gonna help me if I do that, like, because I need to get more help from someone or somewhere, right? Like, I don't know. Jojo said, "I used to take it out on others when I was wrong and abused." Me too. And I had hatred in my heart. I can relate. A hardened heart keeps us from improvement. Jojo, you're right. Forgiveness is hard. Even Ben done it. We do wrong. To some it is. Jojo. Right on, brother. Like, yeah, I agree. Oof, that was good. You're explaining our generation, in my opinion. Most of the kids I grew up in single parent homes. Isn't that crazy? So think about that. Like, that affects us, I believe. I believe it. There are studies if you get into it and you look at studies with like one parent in the household and one not. I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm a single parent. Um, but the prison percentage, like of the child possibly going to prison, rises when there's only one parent in the household. I'll have to get those percentages one day. It's icky to talk about. We don't want to talk about that reality, right? Like I don't want to. Doesn't sound good. It doesn't because I want to be like, I'm perfectly great. I'm a single mom. I am though. I am. It's great, but I also have to be like, you know, honest about he could have other needs that I'm not able to totally meet and I want to be able to at least do my best to fill that. Does that make sense, right? I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking. It's my working thought. Holding on to resentment. Oh, thank you. It's so destructive to me. It's hard when I feel justified. It's my problem to solve, really. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. What did she say? Holding on to resentments is so destructive. You know what the Alcoholics Anonymous Big Book says? Resentments are the number one offender. Offender being a contributor to relapse. Hi. I was resentful as hell because I was hurt by someone's, right? This is not a just me thing. This is common. This is like a huge deal. Having resentment, we know the quote, right? Having resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. This is what I did. This is what I've done. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't solve anything. It makes it worse. And sometimes it's hard. It's easier said than done. Don't do that. But like, it takes work, right? We need help to work on this usually, right? I don't know like how to just magically solve a resentment. Like, I know little tips and tricks and things that I was taught, but did I want to put them into effect all the time? No. I kind of wanted to sit in it. Why? Why would I want to sit in that? You guys know? Why would I want to sit in resentment and anger? Self-pity. Why? What is that doing for me? It's hurting me seemingly, right? No, there's a payoff. There is a payoff, whether we realize it or not, to be in self-pity, to be in resentment, to be in that state of hate, right? What is the payoff? I don't know. It's different, right? It could be different for anything. For me, it's that self-righteous anger, and that feels better than being hurt or sad. I'd rather be mad than sad. My pain, when I'm trying to avoid pain, avoid feelings, I can go from hurt to mad in 2.5 seconds. I skip right over the hurt. What happens if I'm forcefully skipping? You can't like do this with emotions, right? Like, it's not going to work. It's not sustainable. I'm going straight to that, and I'm not feeling the pain, and I'm not healing because I got to feel it to heal it. So that stuff's just coming up, and I'm mad about it. What am I going to do when I'm mad about it? I'm not going to be upset. I'm going to be mad and point the finger at someone else, and I'm not going to look inside to why I'm hurt. I don't want to look inside. I don't want to feel pain. I'd rather feel mad. So there's a payoff for me. If I'm in self-pity, maybe there's an excuse. Maybe. I don't know. Anger is the easiest emotion. Look at any toddler. Ah, Tampa B, man. Good point. Anger is the easiest emotion. It is, for me, realizing that it was my fight or flight, just the fight part, right? Like, it was a trauma response a lot of times, and it continues to be, because I still think sometimes I'm seeing this bear in front of me, and it's not. It might just be this, my brain, the part of the brain, the small part of the middle, the amygdala, right? There's the amygdala and the frontal cortex, right? And so this is the part, the frontal cortex, frontal lobe, is like where decisions are made. It's the logical part of us. It goes offline. That's what they say. It goes offline. That's the word they use when my cortisol levels rise, because my amygdala has been triggered. And why is the amygdala triggered? Because I'm going into fight or flight because I sense danger. It senses danger. Why? Because I am in a state, maybe I've been in a traumatic situation before where I had to do the fight or flight, right? So when that happens, and I've been through trauma, and I've had that happen, I'm going to look for that and make sure that doesn't happen again, because I want to feel safe. So if something resembles a danger, even if it's not a danger, but I'm just like, at a minute, I think like, this could be, and I tense up because I'm ready, because I don't want to let the trauma happen again or whatever happened, right? I'm trying to be safe. But guess what? The amygdala doesn't know whether it really is a threat or not. If something is perceived as a threat, it's perceived as a threat. Like, right? Like, it's, I don't want to say animalistic, but that's how it works. I wish I could explain it better in better words, but okay, here's a way I could explain it. It does that and reacts quickly, because guess what? This needs to like decide what to do. Like maybe write a list of like, well, I could do this or I could do that. What is the logical response to this? The amygdala is like that. Danger is incoming. Run, fight, do this. Well, guess what? When situations arise that are seemingly similar to things that trigger me that have been happening to me or have happened to me in the past that really that hurt and are traumatic to me, I'm going to go into fight or flight when something resembles it. And I may jump the gun, and I do. This is what I'm working on now. I'm working on really like, because it's in my body, right? Like it's here. It's here. You feel it in your body too. This is difficult to work through. I think it takes a lot of learning about how it works, what's really going on, because guess what? I didn't know that that's what it was. I had a feeling, but I was like, no, it couldn't be that. This is just me being an asshole. And it's not, because I'm not like that. But I'm freaking scared. I'm not going to let anybody do something to me like what happened, right? So I'm ready to fight. And when you're used to like this shit coming at you, or you get used to it, or it happens a few times, and then you're like, all right, not happening again. The shit is like, you get faster, right? Fight or flight is subconscious and instinctual. Yeah. So, okay. So when that happens, it's like when we react. When I think someone's coming after me and I'm like, I need to pause. I need to take a time out for at least 30 minutes. Why 30 minutes? That's how long it takes for your frontal cortex, lobe, whatever, to come back online. And then you can think clear again. You ever notice like, you're like, don't do that when you're mad. And I'm like, no, I'm doing it. I got to do it. Well, guess what? That's usually when I'm under the influence and I can't like just do that. Like I'm acting on impulse. This stops that usually, right? It can. Some of us still don't, but that's what it's for. So I don't know. I know I've explained that before, but I felt like it really applies to this in a way too, right? Jojo said, Lindsay, being honest and truthful is difficult because most or all expect things are always nice and dandy, never have to acknowledge the failures or wrongdoings. Truth and honesty is the only way we break free of hell. It's very impactful. Thank you. Truth and honesty is the only way we break free of hell. How true is that? It keeps us prisoner, right? How many of us hide behind things like humor or even success, work? That could be an addiction, right? Oh, wait, what about actual addictions? Yeah. Anybody else? Chrissy said, for me, I'm the exact opposite. I invert and go inward and disassociate. Yeah, that's, I think that's fawn. I'm the little girl curled up rocking in the corner. Fawn is like when you just like fall in line kind of, and like because you just probably say it's something extreme like abuse in your past or something, and like maybe someone yelling or something, it like maybe freeze, but maybe a combination of the two. But so there's fight, flight, right? And fight is, we know what fight is. Flight is run like hell, right? Get out of the situation. Fawn is like go along to get on, like just, like when people are how they are with their captor or whatever, right? I mean, sometimes, and they're fawning, they're just like appeasing what they have to do, right? To survive. It's a survival thing. It's crazy, right? And freeze is like we just can't move, and that's disassociation too, right? I can do that too. It all depends on what the trigger is and why I'm experiencing that, like what it is triggering. And I don't know right away. Maybe some people do, but I know that trauma, I know that abuse of any kind really affects us. It really impacts us. And have you noticed that it's easy for people, I don't know if it's easy, but people will judge it seemingly easily? Does that make sense? Yeah. Like, it's easy for anybody to say, like, God, like, why are you reacting like that? That's crazy, or this and that's like, no, this is totally expected and normal, right? You don't just like heal trauma because you say it's healed. There's things we have to do, right? It's not just like therapy either, of like just like, I'm gonna think this and blah blah blah. No, it's in here. How many of us that experience trauma develop a mask? That's where I was really getting at what I was getting at, because that's a trauma response too, right? The real me got abused. The real me, I got abused, right? Because I let my guard down. I was just me. I was raw. I was a little girl. I was this. I was that. And so what do we do as like maybe a defense mechanism as when we're triggered, or to avoid that again? We don't want that to happen. We were unsafe. We're traumatized by it, right? We do not want that to happen again. We are sensitive to something that would trigger that feeling again, smells, sights, right? And we're not always in control of that, right? We're not in control of like being triggered. So it takes a lot of work to change that. We have to be able to pause, and that's difficult for a lot of us. We can learn it. I'm working on it, you know. I'll let you know when I figure it out. It might be a while, right? But it's a process so far, right? I think it's a process for all of us, and our journeys are all similar, but they're all different. You know? Like how much we have so many things in common, and we can exchange stories and things that worked for us, things that didn't work for us. And I think that helps us to heal a lot faster. I really believe we can't heal alone, because I think we need others in connection to heal. I think that's dire. I think it's a part of it. Do you know that you guys know the psychologist Carl Rogers? He was a psychologist that, I forget what year, but it was I think in the 70s, maybe the 60s. I could be totally wrong because my time is just backwards, but I think it was maybe the 80s. I don't know. I don't feel like Googling it. But Carl Rogers, he developed client-centered therapy, person-centered therapy. And so this is something that we see commonly now. We know what a motivational interviewing is, right? That's like a very helpful thing that anybody can do. It's when you ask questions to get someone to, it's like to spark their thought, jog their brain, right? But what he was famous for is the therapeutic relationship. He talked about how a therapist and a client, the real mechanism of change is the relationship, not what was talked about. What do you think about that? That the relationship with the therapist is the main mechanism of change, essentially. Like this is, I mean, obviously it's about the content too, right? But I mean, if they're talking about like, you know, negative things and like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that or whatever the hell, right? Like they're probably not getting many places, but it's about the therapeutic relationship. So that's why, there you go, Rick. Rogerian therapy too. I forgot that one. Humanistic approach. You're right. Yeah, see, the therapist role. The therapist does not challenge. I shouldn't say challenge. Does not confront in a confrontational way, right? Like, right, non-judgmental. This is something that I've been told that I excel at, is is this type of therapy. I've done a lot of reports on this because I just love it. I just love it. And I know it's basic and it's just like, it's like the basis of all therapy, because what happened before that? What was it, like Adler? I don't know the other psychologist. Just Gestalt therapy. I forget his name. It was more confrontational, right? And this is the love, like the connection and the love is going to foster an environment that is prime for change. It's a mechanism for change, and that's fucking beautiful, man. Like, and it's for real. Like, it's real. I've seen it. And this is huge. He changed the whole game, all of therapy. Like, that's freaking cool, man. I love it. But so what does that tell me? That's how freaking important connection is. Right? Like, this man, like, that's what he's like, I discovered connection is going to be connection, positive connection, unconditional positive regard. This is something I do well that I've been told. It's almost like, if I could summarize it, I could say, seeing the bright side, right? It's like, well, how could we change this into a positive? I'm able to do that with other people easier than I'm able to do with myself, right? It's hard to do with myself. I'm working on it. That's me. That's just me. Tampa B said, it's easy to trust and talk to someone who doesn't judge. Yeah. Hey, I think I was just talking about this the other day with a couple of you guys, right? What happens when you have a friend or therapist that tells you, well, how should I word this? Isn't happy with what your free choices are? Or I don't know how to explain it better without going into detail, but I need to make decisions on my own. When I want to change, nobody can make me. We talked about that, right? And so a friend or therapist there that's going to sit there and be like, oh, I told you to do this. Why didn't you do that? I know what's best. Nobody knows what's best for anybody else. If you don't hear anything, please hear that. You don't know what's best for me, and I don't know what's best for you. Can we recommend things that may or may not work? Yeah. Can I suggest something if you want? I'm not going to just throw out advice. It's not my place. Who likes that? I don't like strangers doing that. You know? Chrissy said, unbiased advice coming from a place of compassion. That unconditional love reminds me of compassion, right? I correlate the two, right? Because compassion and empathy. What's the difference between empathy and sympathy? We know that, right? Oh, hey, Jean. You have to work on yourself all the time because you never know when someone is going to hurt you or make you angry. Bingo. Bingo. This is kind of what I was saying earlier, that if I'm constantly connected to my higher power and into my support network, it is more manageable when something comes along that causes an upset, like some kind of something in my life that is some pain, something like that, right? The anger, it's going to be less impactful in a negative way, right? Yeah, this is Jean, substance use disorder nurse. Jean has been super supportive from the very beginning for me. I thank you, Jean. Always have super great feedback, and I really appreciate that. Very insightful. It's easy to talk to someone who doesn't judge. Guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to tell you the truth if I'm struggling, if I think you're going to yell at me and tell me, how dare you struggle? Huh? Aren't I in therapy? Aren't I in treatment? Aren't I seeking help because I need help? Is because I don't know the answers, maybe. Why am I expected to be, what does that mean? It's like I would have clients that would come to treatment to get sober because why? Because they may not know how to get sober and stay sober. Duh, right? would you believe I'd have, well, of course, I mean, a huge number of coworkers that would get on their ass about a relapse or something. I'm sorry, is this a moral failing now? And also, I thought they were here to get help with that because they can't stop doing that. What do people with substance use issues normally do? They drink. What are we trying to do different? We're trying to replace that with something healthy, a different coping mechanism besides picking up a drink or a drug, right? That's why, with all this knowledge and everything and experience and trauma or feelings got so built up within me that I didn't know what to do with them because I was not very experienced in dealing with pain that way and like that. What do? It's too much. I gotta go. I gotta drink. I gotta do this, whatever it is. I'm not saying that's right. I'm saying that's just what happens quite frequently, and it's scary. Chrissy said, in my opinion, sympathy is feeling bad for the person. Empathy is being able to see the situation and show compassion and relate to. Boom. When someone says, like, I have sympathy for you, I'm like, don't feel bad for me. It's kind of rude, in my opinion. I don't know if it is rude, but I think it's rude. I don't think they know it's rude, maybe. But it's like, I have empathy because I can place myself in your shoes. I shouldn't be working with other alcoholics or addicts if I can't do that. I have no business. And if I think that struggling with trauma and reacting just like what trauma causes, a freaking trauma response or two, an addiction or mental health struggles, if I demonize any of those things, it's like I'm saying you're a bad person. It's a moral failing. In my opinion, this is just how I feel. I'm not saying that that's facts, okay? Anybody you gotta get what I'm saying? Like, I kind of feel like that's judgmental. I want to do my best to not do that. Now, if you've seen me like in a bad place, I was not. I was fighting with people and trying to bring them into it because I was not in that healing mode. I was in destruction mode and I was staying right there. Self-righteous anger, gonna fuck with you, fuck you up, right? Did nothing for me. It did not help. It made it worse. Remember that. It does not help. It makes it a billion times worse. But when I'm working on myself and healing, I'm in the right mindset, able to receive help and feedback and love. There's another one. Does anybody have a hard time accepting love? I do, sometimes. Actual love. When someone has shown me compassion and love in the past, I have shit on them. I've done that before because I didn't love myself. So I thought, how could anybody genuinely love me? So that was a lesson that I had to learn. And did it come back? Yeah. But you know what? I know that that's not the reality. That's not the truth. At the end of the day, if we're trying to get through these things and we're reaching out for help, we love ourselves, in my opinion. And if we don't love ourselves, we can. We totally can. We're just struggling right then. It's not bad. It's common. All of us get into a spot where we're just like not happy with ourselves or think we're unlovable. It happens a lot. I don't like it, but you know what? I had to go through it. We have to go through it and then work through it, right? And realize and it happens when someone loves us unconditionally too. That really helps us to get to that point. So I may be going off on a tangent, but I think it all applies. I think I talked about how vulnerability gets confused with weakness, right? I think that's implanted in us, some of us. I mean, doesn't society kind of show that? It's kind of like the norm, like this is how it goes. Like if you're vulnerable and open, you're weak. Better be strong and show you're strong. We kind of talked about this already, but I just want to reiterate that strength is not in this appearance. It takes balls to be like, I'm fucking struggling. Like, I need help. Sorry to be so blunt, but to say like this hurt me really bad, that takes strength because nobody wants anybody to know that something hurt them. Hell no. I'm showing that side of me that could be hurt, right? But if we shut down and don't become vulnerable or be vulnerable after something like pain happens to us or something traumatic, if we can't get to that point again, it's kind of scary, right? Because I won't be able to receive love if I'm not vulnerable with anybody, right? Because vulnerability leads to connection. I can't properly, I can't make a real connection, I think. Chrissy said, I think that's where practicing self-love. Hey, with that butt. Did you see her butt? Come here, honey. I think that's where practicing self-love and self-esteem come into play. Have to love yourself to accept love and find the right kind of love. There is a right and wrong way to show love. Oh, so true, Christy. There's a right way and a wrong way to show love. What do you think is the right way? I think we've talked about it, right? Compassion, letting someone be vulnerable with us. Come here, baby. Right? Taking off that mask. I think that mask is so detrimental to our healing. The longer it stays up, I think it just continues because I associate that with stuffing the feelings, like I said. What did Jojo say? Speaking of judgment, can you get down? I'm a guy with lady first thing I speak to in a sexual matter that should show I'm airhead, even if was a guy spewing hate or gossip slander. That makes an asshole. Yeah. I got my titters right here. Tampa B said, it's hard knowing my kids won't learn from my advice. Oh, only from their own experiences. Oh my God. Look at you, Tampa B. You're so right, girl. Yeah. And is Ruth still here? This is kind of what we were talking about yesterday, and I am going to do a stream about that. But, hi, tits. I think that I can take advice. I don't always. And it's not because I'm like unwilling. Even if I know it's right, it's because I can't sometimes, right? I've been told I don't accept advice. It's really not true. If I trust the person, I do. And you can hear 2 people in here, I take their advice all the time. Sometimes I really try and I can't because I'm not there yet mentally. But does that mean I don't want to? No, I'm working towards it, right? Like if I know that person's giving me real advice that they mean and they're not being manipulative and they're genuinely like loving, like these are my best friends that really love and care about me, I don't just trust anybody, right? So I've already established that trust with them to where I know that any advice they're giving me is coming from a place of love. Oh, thanks, Silva. You've come a long way. I appreciate it. How are you? I remember you. You don't give advice, you give, you're just like 100 right now. Unconditional love. You don't give advice, you give unconditional love, right? Right? Because like, do I know better? If you want advice or you ask me a question and you're like, I want your advice, or like, what would you do? I'll tell you. Is that the first thing I go to? No. And was there a point years ago, usually, like mostly, when if someone came to me with a problem, I would think it was my job to solve it. Now, if I have someone that automatically is just like trying to quote solve the issue, I kind of get mad. I'm not mad, but I'm like, no, I just want you to like be here with me. If there was a solution, and I feel like I've tried most things and I'm like in that situation, I might just need someone to listen to me. And then I might be more open to like, well, what do you think? You know? I mean, you, Lindsay. What? Oh, me. You're saying I don't give advice. Oh, thank you. Oh, good. I'm glad I don't give advice. I don't, right? I learned that people don't like it that much. And you know what else I learned? When I went to school for counseling, I learned you're not supposed to give advice. Did you know that? You better not. It's a big no-no. It is unethical as fuck. So, vulnerability. Did I read this? Vulnerability and weakness is something that is difficult. It's more dealing with getting humbled, being right-sized, right? Being strong is the most of the time with confidence, but too much is pride, self-righteousness, arrogance. Good point, Jojo. Good point. I do this because I love you. Oh, it just made me like shudder. I do this because I love you. It's gaslighting. It's worse. We need to be careful when someone says that, right? Yeah. Because that can disguise abuse, right? And usually it is used as a disguise for abuse. I'm not saying 100. I don't know. Maybe someone really says, I do this because I love you. And maybe they think that that's the right thing and they do love you. I mean, yeah. But like oftentimes when someone has said it to me in a certain way, it's because it's gaslighting and it's, you know, this is for your own good. I'm doing that. Like, it's like being controlled. Sometimes, right? So that's what I've experienced. I haven't experienced it always coming from a place of love. Like, you know, maybe my parents did, coming from a place of love, but that can also be like, it doesn't always mean that they're 100, right? Or 2, right? Titters, what you doing, girl? Yeah, Titters is just chilling right here. She's so cute. But keeping quiet when something happens. I thought that I had to get better at that. When I was in a situation where I wasn't being treated like I should be. I see that now, right? I was gaslit to where I thought, well, no, I'm expecting too much. I'm expecting too much when I am expecting basic respect and dignity. That's asking too much. And I knew it, but did I second guess it when they would say otherwise? Yeah. Did I think I was too needy? Yeah. Was I? No. I was not at all, actually. I took breadcrumbs because maybe I thought that's all I was worth. So there's something there that I have to look at, and it's uncomfortable. It sucks. But if I don't get to the bottom of it and I don't reflect upon the situation, like the pain, the different things in my life, how am I going to look for a healthy kind of relationship or healthy actions in the future? I'm not going to know, right? I need to like sometimes ask somebody, or like I need to learn this stuff, right? I think that's why I like want to do this, to be able to help. Like the reason I became a counselor is because I wanted to be able to take everything that I know and put it into layman's terms and support, just be there. Like I said, like be in the same space as each other. Like that is a lot. When I just have a friend willing to like be there with me at that moment, like that's a big freaking deal. Right? Because they're validating me in a way. They're validating my experiences and my pain. And they're not saying, it's not that bad. You should just get over it. Or I think you're overreacting. Or you should just be grateful. It could be worse. I gaslight myself and say those things. Okay. So, I mean, and there's a reason why, but it's not healthy and it's not the correct way, right? Tampa B said, I need validation of my feelings, not because I think I'm right. Exactly. Do I think I'm right? Sometimes. It may appear like I always think I'm right. I question myself a lot. Not always. That wasn't always the time. I had more confidence before. But like, what happens when we internalize messages from someone that puts us down or makes us it'll make us believe we're less than, right? Because you hear it over and over and again. It's just like what I talked about yesterday. I think it was yesterday, about when we're children and we hear our caregivers, school teachers, this, that, our community say things, and you hear them all say it, and so you believe that's truth. You're growing up and this is what you hear and this is normal. But okay, kitty. I forgot what I was saying now. God, she was distracting me. I already read that one. Did I miss something? No. Oh, no, I thought up here in the chat I did. Wait, did I read this? Oh, I did. Okay. I need validation of my feelings. I think because that's how I feel. And despite what anyone says that I ought to, that I should not feel this way, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Don't ever say that to anybody. Please. That hurts people. You don't know what anybody ought to feel. I have no idea. I don't know. I can't do that. That's like kind of abusive, right? Yeah. Whether or not we want to admit it, it is a form of that. Invalidating your experience. She's exaggerating. That's bullshit. That's okay. You could say whatever you want, free speech, right? But like it could be harmful for the person. If you don't care, then whatever. But I'm just saying, that's hard to hear that from people, right? Like, I'm not saying, we can't control everyone around us, and that's not my job to be like, don't do this and don't do that to people. I'm saying this so that we can learn what isn't helpful for us to be around. I don't want to be around someone that's going to tell me that I'm asking for too much by wanting basic respect, or just wanting someone to believe that I've experienced pain and I'm struggling, right? I don't want anybody around me that isn't going to be there with me. And if I'm being open and honest and I'm opening up and being vulnerable, the worst thing is getting feedback that it's bullshit. You know how bad that hurts? It sucks. It's terrible. I have a borderline daughter and learned how validating her feelings is what she needed from me. We all need it. I love that because I didn't know that's what I needed. And I think that sometimes we've needed stuff since we're little, or just maybe throughout our childhood and growing up, and we didn't know that it was something we needed because it wasn't the norm for us. And now I'm luckily learning it because I have a child, and that's important to me. I don't want to ever invalidate, and I've done that before. I've invalidated people's experience and not even known it. Now I know better, but and have I done that before to be mean? Yeah. And I'm embarrassed about it. I'm ashamed about it. But I did it. I'm just being honest. I will never say something that the kitty sneezed. Bless you again. it kind of goes back to like the hypocritical thing for me. That just popped in my head. I want to be genuine and true, authentic. That is so important to me. I do not like people that are not authentic. I instantly see that shit and I'm like, nah. I just don't like it. No, I shouldn't say that because some people can't. Some people are struggling with it. But I guess I was thinking of it more in like in like terms of like someone that is hiding something maybe. But it's different because not all of us can do that. It's scary. So please scratch that. Never tell someone they shouldn't feel that way. What is that? That tells us like we're wrong. You're wrong for feeling that. And then you're like, I guess I'm like broken, or like, I don't know why this is affecting me, and it's wrong. Like, if you tell someone it's wrong, like, what do I do with that? What do I do with that? It's wrong. How do I fix that? What's right? I don't know. Just hide it. Just hide it. That's not true, right? But it's exhausting to pretend all the time as well. And I know that, like I said, because I have done that before throughout my life, and I can't keep up with it. I mean, that's a big thing now for me. Like, so back to what I was saying earlier about me coming out and saying like, yeah, these are my black eyes. I got arrested because this, that, and the other, right? Because I messed up. I'm going to own that shit. I'm going to own that shit. Why? Because I did it. Why would I expect anybody to take me seriously and think I'm genuine if I'm not willing to say, I fucked up? People that can't admit their mistakes, I don't know. What do you think about when you think of someone that can't own up to what they did, or where they're wrong, or when they harm someone? I've only done that when I was in my addiction, and it doesn't feel good. But I've been mean and not owned up and not apologized. And guess what? When the drugs and alcohol are out of me, I remember that sometimes. Not always, because I forget a lot and I feel bad. But when I remember that shit, I'm like, oh, I better do what I can do to make amends. What if I can? I better try to at least do something, right? I don't mean saying sorry. I mean like trying to make it right in some way. Can't fix what you don't own up to. Bingo. Can't fix what you don't own up to. There's not a problem, right? So how can I fix it? If I'm gonna, I mean, we know you're full of shit if you say like there's no flaws and like there's no problem. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, for example, I don't know. We just know because we all know ourselves and we know what happens. But covering up that stuff, I think can lead to like disconnection from ourselves and others and to God. Your God, whatever that is, your higher power. I don't care what you call it. I call mine God. It's all the same. Anything, we all have different higher powers. I just mean something that we, look to, something that's greater than ourselves. It's kind of like, you ever feel like you're alone in the middle of the room with a whole bunch of people and you're like, why do I feel like this? I felt like that a lot in the past. I think it was like loneliness because I wasn't connecting, because I wasn't being vulnerable. And I was trying to keep up this mask, this appearance that things were good and I'm handling things. It's human to not be able to handle things, right? We learn and then we are able to all the effing time. Yeah. There's something else I wanted to point out that I was talking about with my friend earlier. We should just state the obvious that we're all worthy of love, right? No matter how broken we may feel. None of us are broken, right? We're just humans going through the human experience. Like, we're going through the pain. Healing is not linear. I used to beat myself up And I do sometimes, right? But then I got to remember that's not going to help, Lindsay. It's just going to keep you in that spot you were in. Keep beating yourself up for what you did, and you're going to continue to do the same old shit. So I've had people say to me, like, you're not remorseful at all. And it's like, no, quite the opposite. Quite the opposite. I don't know how to only feel remorse. I feel remorse and shame. And I can turn that into a way for me to continue using drugs and alcohol. And I don't want to do that, because then that actually causes more pain to others and myself. And if I'm trying to essentially like change, if I'm trying to like make up for what I've done, the best way I can come close to that is not continuing the behavior. That's truly changing, right? So I can ask for forgiveness all I want. Does that change it? No, nothing will change it. But the next best thing is change behavior, not doing it again, and showing that we won't do it again, right? That's just my opinion, man. When you close and lock the doors, close the blinds, and turn off your phone, then wonder why we're alone. Yeah. Anybody isolate? Why do we do that? That's a thing that I do. I have to make myself not do it because I get more sick. Well, I'm trying not to use the word sick. What could I use? I get more anxiety, more loneliness, more pain. And what did I say? Opposite of addiction is connection. What is dire? Well, it's dire for all humans, right? It's part of the human experience to naturally connect. That's what we're designed for. And it's going against the grain when I'm not, and I'm isolating. And why do I usually do that? When I do it, it's because I feel shame. Interesting, right? Shame leads to addiction. Shame keeps me in addiction. Shame is the feeling that I am bad. I don't know how to stay sober thinking I'm bad, because then I don't deserve happiness and sobriety if I'm bad. Nobody's bad, I don't think. Maybe someone is. You guys better let me know. 2 people out there. Yeah. I say this a lot, and I'm like, I don't want to go out there, man. Like, I don't want to get out there. Too much going on. And like, I think it's cool to like be alone, and like, I'm an introvert, so like I enjoy my own company, and that's fucking cool, right? Because I will go eat by myself. I am just like chilling, like I'm having a grand old time. Like I think it's awesome. Because I don't care like what it looks like. I'm not lonely. I'm not alone. I'm just eating alone. And I don't care what strangers may think. Oh my God, do you think that they're thinking like, oh my God, she's eating alone? Like, what a freaking loser. No. If they are, that's like, bro, there's something wrong. But no, like, have the confidence to like go out, eat by yourself. Like, it's cool. I like being with myself. I think I'm cool. Rick, you are a legend. You are. Rick said, I am lucky. Each day I go out, at least 50 people wave and say, I love your stuff. Pretty nice of them. About 10 pictures a day get taken of me. It's quite funny. I'm nobody famous. What are you talking about, Rick? You got a posse following you? The paparazzi? Only so much social battery. I save it for the real people in my life. I don't have it either. I get exhausted quickly. I don't enjoy going to like parties often. When I was younger and I was drinking, oh yeah, I was missing out if I was not at every party. Like I was there. That was me. I'm going to the clubs when I'm 18, 19, 20. Before I even hit 21, I'm already like getting maxed out. It's overrated. Like I've been there, done it. It's like not that great, right? Like that's not what's like super fun and important and like something that I love. I genuinely love like the small things now. I never did before. It was like I have to be like at this party, like at this club, like getting this, like doing that. And like, I need all the attention. I don't know, just like shit like that. Right. And it's like, that is not real. It never will fill me in here. I get up all the people in the world, I don't know, on YouTube or like all these friends in real life. I used to have so many people I knew, like friends that, you know, you could call them my friends, people I was out all the time. It was too much and I didn't enjoy it. That's why I'm like this now. I did all that. This is more enjoyable. Staying sober and having family and love, you know? Chrissy said, I isolate my depression, anxiety. Me too. You guys know that. I do it too. I know that that is very difficult. And hopefully we can continue to work on that with each other by just showing up. And even if you don't want to talk, just, you know, I will just like be on the phone with my friends sometimes because I just need someone there. Do I think I'm weak? No. Maybe I need that. I think it's okay. You know, isolate with a mask on. No, we're helping more people and by being authentic, and it really I don't know, it really, you know, you don't have to hide. Be open and honest, and that doesn't mean tell the whole world all your stuff. You pick and choose what you allow people to know. But I think it's important that we can show up how we want to show up and not worry about being judged or not care about being judged, possibly. That's what I want here. I hope this is something that could be. I don't know if I'm totally like shooting for the stars and like it's a crazy idea, but I hope not. I think it's possible. Thank you, Regal. I appreciate how accepting this community is and how supportive everyone is for each other. Me too. This is what I need, and I hope that someone else needs it too, and it helps. I think anybody that's struggling, getting involved with a group of people that are also feeling similar or other kind of things going on that they're struggling through and they're aiming for healing, having that kind of bond and support, it's necessary, you know. Christy, you're one of the supportive people I come here for. You guys are both my faves. You already know that, though. My biffles. I still don't know what that stands for. It's like BFF for life, for like ever, for I don't know. I don't know. Still, I should Google it. I think I read them all. Hey guys, did I forget anything? I feel like I did. What's the moral of the story? Where are we going to end on today? What's our last thoughts? It was like Jerry's final thought. Except I don't know what it is. I'm able to converse with people I can't communicate with other. I feel blessed. Couple of minutes to make someone not invisible. Oh my God. That's service work too, right? Just showing up for someone, being there with them, that's helping someone. Thank you so much. Oh, I love you. I love you, bestie. I love you too, bestie. If you forgot, there's always hopefully next stream. Yeah. Hi, AGT Mom. How are you? I'm so glad you're able to catch a live stream and pop in. Yes, we're live. How are you? We are just finishing up now what we talked about, wearing a mask and being vulnerable, and that it's not weakness, it's strength. Yes. Anything else that anybody wants to add to our final thoughts? Cheesy or not, remember, you deserve love. You deserve respect. We all do. We deserve to take up the space that we're in, right? We all do. And we're not going to be smaller because someone else makes us feel that way. We don't have to be. Easier said than done, but that's what this is for, right? Oh, thanks, Pat. How are you? Thank you. I really appreciate that. You love cheese. I love that. I love cheese too. I ate a pizza today. Oh my God, you guys. I got to tell you this, dude. I burnt my mouth on a pizza. I know I've said it to Christy like 3 times today. I'm just so like shocked that I continue to do this. It's like touching a hot stove. She said, I do it too. And I'm like, yeah, typical of us. I guess it's okay to burn your tongue on the pizza. It was nice, Lindsay. Oh, thank you. You rock too, Rick. Rick, legend, aka legend, legendary. AGT mom, I just say no to people who aren't kind or abide by my boundaries. 100%. 100%. That's what we are learning together, is to help each other feel strong in our own skin, because I did not like being in my own skin. I didn't feel comfortable, and I wanted to feel anything but what I'm feeling and be anyone other than who I am. That's part of my external validation, my reaching out, my wanting to feel this inside. There's a hole. Any questions for Lindsay or a thought you'd like to share, please? Oh, yes. Hi. I'm a little immature, but like, it's fun. I'm growing up every day. Zachariah, oh my God, they are. I've done that so many times. That's a shame. You're right. AGT mom, there is freedom in that. Absolutely. I am learning. Yeah. I love you guys. Hit me up if you have anything you want to talk about. I know I told Ruth I wanted to do that other stream, but this was really like on my mind today. And so I just wanted to talk about it, but I'm going to do it in the next week. Talk about the difference between enabling and supporting. Bo Beats. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. I love when you jump in and pop on in here. Good to see you. But yeah, you guys have a good night. Let's get through the rest of the week unscathed. I'm gonna open my mail. I'm scared. So wish me luck. Thank you. Love you, Barb. Good. Yeah, and you guys can reach me anytime. Not that I'm like so important, but like, I'm just saying, if you want to reach me, if you have any, huh? Wow, that's so wild. What do you mean? Oh, there's a rumor? How does this still happen? This is wild. What is the rumor? This is fun. Oh, is it because I went in his chat to go support my friend? And then I went in his chat one other time. Oh, yeah, you and him too. Do not go in anybody's chat, you guys. I swear to God. Do not be nice to anybody. Do not. Do not even just ignore them. But they can do it. They can do it themselves, right? And it's just like, that's my friend, like, duh. And you're like, okay. Oh, I don't know why they'd want to hurt her. She doesn't have anything to worry about. She don't need to worry about that shit. I would never do that. I would never try to get anybody's person. I'll go everywhere. Yeah, like I would never want her to feel like that either. I think that I would hope that she would feel comfortable enough to ask me. Reese, if you see this, I don't know if you see this, but you can always talk to me and ask me. It's not true. So that's not cool to try to hurt her. I don't like that because it's not true. I don't have a kind of relationship with that person at all. Like, it's the chat, you know? So I love you guys. What is that? Tea? Coffee? No, is that witch's brew? Yeah, I think she's smarter than that. She's good. I don't think she would think such silly shit. I don't think she's like that. Yeah, probably they're just trying to link them because Lindsay was supporting Kristen. Yeah, Kristen's my friend, and her and Tommy share what their channel start. Oh yeah, because Tommy, I guess, started his channel like addiction stuff. He had said so. That's cool, but yeah, I don't do that kind of shit. There's nobody that I would try to get with from that community. A little bit, not even a little bit. But I love the concern. I'm just kidding. All right, guys, I love you. And keep it real. Bye. Tea. Oh, okay. All right. No, there's no tea. But I'm boring now. I know. I love Kristen too. Kristen, thanks for stopping in too. I forgot to mention that. I'm still gonna get her down to a day. I gotta get her to schedule a day to come on. She's a good ass therapist. I could tell by what she said on his show too. And from what I've talked to her about. Thanks, Bo Beats. I appreciate that. I try my best to get some little makeup on my face and look normal sometimes. Sometimes I get dressed, you know. Can you tell I got dressed today? Black tea. Ew, I don't like black tea. I don't like tea, period, actually. So I don't like coffee either. Energy shots, very unhealthy. I'm working on it. All right, I'm going to go. I love you guys. Hit me up. Hit a playa up. All right, I'm done. Bye.